Hi, this is Julie Murphy with Arizona Farm Bureau, and you may have noticed, but we've been on a month-long hiatus because August is typically Arizona Farm Bureau's, well, actually, it's not typically, it's always Arizona Farm Bureau's county annual meeting season, and we just thought that would maybe be a good break for us. So we've missed you all. For those of you that joined me live, and also for those of you that watch it later, I just really appreciate you being dedicated to the cause and what we try to do through Talk to a Farmer, Talk to a Rancher, Talk to Cooperative Extension. And this is what we're doing now. We're actually going to do a series because I want to learn more. And I'm kind of your typical consumer and community engaged person. And I feel like even though I grew up kind of, a way to say this, Iman, is that I feel like I grew up in Extension, not as an employee or anything, but just being so involved in 4-H. So this series will focus on the University of Arizona's Extension system and what they do, not only for farmers and ranchers. We often think that by default, we always think it's maybe for the farmers and ranchers and the 4-Hers, but there's so much that Extension does, and I, for one, want to learn about it. And I have the privilege of asking Iman Mostafa to be my first guest for this series. And we'll probably run this, by the way, all through December, possibly parts of January, because I know for sure, because we have 15 counties, there's 15 county extensions, but you have some extensions beyond that too.
Yeah, we have some present in the Indian reservations as well.
Yes,
yeah.
And so I have committed myself to doing those interviews as well, and the U of A team, extension team, is helping coordinate all these. So, but one other thing I kind of want to give props to you, Iman, is how many times have we run into each other at Farm Bureau meetings or meetings that are held by Extension, or even at a wedding.
Yeah.
It was a wedding reception. So the ag community and the urban community and the rural community is small, and I think it's a reflection of that. So before I dive into these questions, Iman, I kind of just want to have everybody find out about you.
Well, I think it's maybe my roles here as interim from Maricopa County, Cooperative Extension Director. I indulge in these roles almost a little over 3 years now.
Okay.
So I have been here also for a little bit longer time. I'm here for about 15 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm involved in as my program works, I'm involved in both worlds, the large scale agriculture and smaller scale urban and rural.
So you're seeing the large and the small agriculture, whether it's out in the rural community or the urban community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's opened my eyes to a lot of things about our county and our states and how we are quite unique, not only in what we are producing, but how we are producing it because of our environment and our other, factors that implement and affect everything around us. So it's a little bit of unique environment, and we know that, and that's why cooperative extension is quite important, because our job most of the time is to bring science for issues that's related and important to our communities, and also that's timely and related to the conditions that we are living in. It's not like something that we can import from somewhere else or something that we can just adopt from other areas. It has to be tailored to our needs, tailored to our communities, tailored to our conditions.
So the reality then, and I'm at Maricopa County Cooperative Extension, the reality is that each extension kind of has specialties that are kind of aggregated or aligned with what's in that environment or that county and that community.
Yes, yes, no doubt about it.
But now, what's your, what'd you get your degree in and all that?
Well, I'm an entomologist by training,
cool.
So I'm working mostly with ag entomology, so everything that's related to any pest that's affect crops or plants and how to manage them and all of these. And as I said, I came here about 15 years ago, and I made my way into the system, as they say. Before that, I was actually working on my postdoc and doctoral degree in Canada. And before that, I was in Ohio State University, the Ohio State University. So it's a little bit of like history. And it was quite transformative for me to work with extension.
Cool.
Because like for all of us, especially when you are going into academia and science and you are doing all of this research, you start to build your own like, world of what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this change and you start working of what our community want to do when it comes to extension.
Right.
And I found that quite, rewarding too, because you can see the impact of your work in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And that's not available for many scientists. So for us in extension, that's a very big drive for us, is that we can see our work, our impact in our communities all the time, because we are working for the community and their needs all the time.
So cool. So I almost don't really need to ask you the other question, but I'm going to give you the opportunity anyway, because it feels like you kind of already said that, but from your perspective, what do you feel is the mission of Cooperative Extension under the University of Arizona banner?
Well, as they always say, like Cooperative Extension is the boundary association of the University of Arizona, or any land-grant university, actually. As you might know, any land-grant university have three missions: education, research, and Cooperative Extension. And we are unique in the US in terms of having this system and having like Cooperative Extension, where you have the university in the communities. It's not only on the campus with the red break and all of that, but we are also with community and in the community serving their needs. So we are bringing science to bar with the needs of our communities.
So science, which sometimes we think, the science and the research we always think of in the lab with the white coat, not necessarily, but, and then you are having the privilege of making application to the community where you reside.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's why all the time when we are talking about Cooperative Extension, we say we are bringing applied research and education to our communities. Because, anything, any innovation we have, any technology we have that we are using is based on some basic science.
Okay.
And then we have some like the intermediate, when these, basic science and ideas became such, concepts. And this concept at the end became something applicable.
Right.
And that's what we are working in and with most of the time, this application of the science, whether it's basic or intermediate or any level, to end up being useful to the end user, to our communities.
Yeah.
And that's, the very powerful tool that Cooperative Extension is doing. We are not just like talking about ideas or like, some theory or anything like that, but we are working on the application of science into our daily life.
And I can verify that because I receive your regular emails and announcing another event or field day, where in these field days, especially on behalf of the farmers, you and the team is literally showing, okay, here's the latest research.
Yeah.
Here's how you and your agriculture practices, in the case of these emails, I know there's other, for other community stakeholders that might not be in agriculture, but certainly for the stakeholders as farmers and ranchers, you're saying, okay, we're meeting, we're going to make an application to some of this latest data that's come to light, whether it be issues as it relates to pesticides, whether as it relates to even new practices that farmers can make applications for improvements on the farm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I noticed that. So what would you classify as current priorities for the Cooperative Extension system overall, or if you just want to speak to Maricopa County's Cooperative Extension?
Just recently, the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension system went through like a very thorough process of need assessment and priorities and strategic visioning. And when we end up with a whole list of all of the priorities and all of the issues that's needed, and all of that based on, again, connecting and surveying our communities and our stakeholders. And from
I
there,
noticed all those survey emails too.
Yeah. So that's what we are doing because, as I said, we don't go and do what we like. but
Okay.
we are going out and doing what our community needs. And that's a huge difference between, anybody who's like fantasizing about science and us here in Cooperative Extension, where we are like doing issue-driven science that will help our community based on their needs. And this is timely and like science-based and unbiased and all of that. So based on that and based on this, process that we went through for almost like a couple of years, we have a whole set of priorities. Like there is a lot of details of them, but we can like combine them like system-wide, and even like can reflect here in Maricopa County. Many of our communities need more, of course, work about water, drought management, water resource management, and all of that. It's an issue like on the mind of everyone living in the desert.
Yeah, and that's whether you're an urban farmer
anywhere
or a rural farmer,
or even like homeowner, or like even has a business, or like has anything to do with living in Arizona.
So that's a big priority for Cooperative Extension on behalf of farmers. So it totally makes sense. It's Arizona Farm Bureau's #1 priority. Yep. Water, water, water. How do we continue to make improvements on conservation? How do we make sure that water is still available for the agriculture community? Again, whether you're urban or rural. That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. And like it's quite easy, like issue, at least for me, to advocate on behalf of the ag community, because we almost like triple or quadruplate our production in almost all crops with less water. So I don't know if any other, industry or any other business achieves this kind of like impact and this kind of like being a very good stewardship of very fine resources like water.
And I could verify that for our family, who are cotton, wheat, and alfalfa farmers. My dad could grow more per acre with less water as the applied research continued to be applied. And even now in his retirement, he hasn't been farming since 2005, but he stays in contact with farmers that are still farming, and he's amazed to hear, oh my gosh, they're still dialing back the amount of water because of even improved seed varieties for the cotton, still dialing it back since he's been out of farming.
Yes.
So it's amazing.
And that's the magic of all of the applied science and technology that we are bringing to the community through like all of the collaboration with amongst ourselves, amongst other institutions, with the industry, with the community. And that's how we have all of these arms and all of this collaboration with others that will bring all of this innovation. At the end of the day, it's every day's innovation that we are witnessing when it comes to the ag community. So that's something, again, because we are, as you said from the beginning, as ag community in general, we are very small, like in everywhere in the US and like here, especially in Arizona. It's almost 1% or less of the population who are involved in agriculture, from retail to labor. That's it.
Yeah, so, that's why we all know each other.
But look at the impact. Look at all of the food. Like, as I was looking at some statistic the other day, and back like before World War II, like one farmer can feed on maybe 4. After World War II, and with some innovation, became 16. Now 166.
166. That's more than what. Because the last time I paid attention to that statistic, it was something like 150, but now it's 100.
Yeah, and not only that. We are not only feeding, the 350 million in the US, but we are feeding almost 1.2 billion.
1.2 billion.
Worldwide.
Yeah. Wow.
That's huge. And that's only 1% of the population.
Yes. So we have to keep sticking around with our Cooperative Extension applied scientists so that we can get it done. Joel Carr, my buddy in crime here on this Talk to a Farmer Friday, is behind the scenes. Joel, are you noticing if anybody's making any comments or questions? Or
no comments or questions at the moment.
All right. Well, for those that have joined us live, I'm here at Maricopa County Cooperative Extension. I'm here with Ayman Mustafa, and he is, I would call you the director now for Maricopa County Extension, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other thing that, and years ago when I first started, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's almost been 19 years since I've been with Arizona Farm Bureau, but I wrote a pretty detailed article with the help of my University of Arizona team on just exactly that linkage between the university, the research, Cooperative Extension and then the stakeholders further down the stream, so to speak,
Yeah.
and how that gets all connected thanks to you guys. But what I discovered too is that each county extension kind of has a sweet spot.
All right.
Like it's your specialty, or this county extension, like for Maricopa, might emphasize, and again, it's based on what the stakeholders are asking for as well.
Sure.
I mean, Maricopa County is the largest urban area. So what's your sweet spot from your perspective for county extension here in Maricopa County?
Well, I think we should start with how unique our county is.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, we are a very urbanized county. Like as you can tell, we have the majority of the population, mostly in like cities around the valley here, and you can tell like we have almost everything. If anybody like came from the Sky Harbor Airport and just drive around, you will see, oh, I'm like in a very big city here.
Yeah.
And that's it. Nobody will notice that we have this also like very robust and very vigorous agriculture as well. Believe it or not, we are among the top 1% when it comes to the market value of agriculture.
Yes.
So that's something. Yeah. We are like number one when it comes to the production per acre of alfalfa for hay.
Of alfalfa?
Yes, yeah. As a county. We have the largest number of dairy cows in Arizona. Wow. Here in Maricopa County.
In Maricopa County.
We are leading in the production of highland cotton. We are leading in the production of the durum wheats. All of these are like very stable food and very stable fiber and very highly economic value, not only for us here, but for like anywhere else that we are sending these product to. Like a few years ago, I was like in Italy, and I was eating my pasta, and like I liked it a lot and all of that. And I found later on that they are actually bringing some of their wheat from here, from Arizona, and they have some contract with one of our growers.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's amazing to know.
It is amazing.
It's like showing how impact this, plethora of production of our food and fiber and everything else that we are bringing to the table of Arizona and the world. So that's unique kind of like combination of very big urbanized area and very robust agriculture and rural areas as well. That's the great mix of our county here. And from there stems much of the issues that we talked about. So many people, of course, on their mind will come, especially after, the pandemic and COVID-19. One of the big issues is health and well-being and how we can connect that to our food production.
Okay.
And how we connect that to like our food safety and like supply chains and like other resources like water and soil and everything else. That's one of the big issues. And if you like mince them down, it will reflect almost what we are doing in Cooperative Extension. We are dealing with ag and natural resources. We are dealing with the community health and well-being. We are like educating the youth to become like very a better citizen and to like involve in our communities. And with all of that, it's almost our mission to address these issues. So going into details in terms of like the agriculture production on the larger scale, we have a lot of opportunities and a lot of like work and a lot of collaboration with our stakeholder to bring like more production for less resources. We are also working on saving the environment through like reducing the number and the amount and even specificity of some of these pesticides that we are using, some of the nutrients that we are using, less water, of course, that we are using to produce even more, as we just discussed. And also, above all of that, how all of these products that we are like enjoy in everyday life become healthier and help the health of our community and their well-being. And that's, again, we are bringing not only like the ag people like myself, but other scientists and other extension personnel who are working with, community health, who are working with diabetes prevention, who are working with like children development and well-being. All of these are happening here, and we are like extending all of these arms and all of this program and all of these opportunities to our fellow citizen here in Maricopa County.
So what strikes me is that you still in many areas have you're ranked number one in some of the major large crop agriculture, the alfalfa, the long staple cotton, did you say?
The shorts,
Or the
the
shorts.
upland cotton.
Oh, yeah, upland cotton. And then the durum wheat,
Yes.
the desert durum. And that is one of those neat statistics or stories that I know that a lot of that durum wheat is highly priced by the Italians. And that's why they buy so much of our desert durum, which is a registered trademark.
Yeah, it has the R, yeah.
Yeah, it has the R. So a lot of that's still occurring here. And that's funny. And reminder to those who are listening and will view this later, the reality is a lot of major and significant agriculture production is occurring in Maricopa County. You may not see it. It's kind of I kind of like to say it's out in the hinterlands a little bit, but it exists. But in the meantime, and this is a perfect segue to the next question, is as the director of the urban agriculture production for Maricopa County Extension, tell us about the small scale and the beginning farmer program here in Maricopa County.
Well, again, it's all connected. And if you look even at the agriculture statistic, it's not all like bright and on the good side, like what we just discussed. There is another side of it, which is mainly like losing arable land.
Yeah.
So there is a huge like conversion of agricultural land in our county, and it's not like a secret or surprise. For me, I'm following number of field every year, so I can follow some pattern of insect or like some other pattern of the production, and I travel to this field across the county and across the state, and I'm doing that for the last 15 years, and there is no single month that I'm visiting this number of fields. I'm limiting myself to about 12 to 15 fields. And
12 to 15
field every
fields,
visit,
okay.
like I'm like zipping around the county or the state in about a month or so. I'm making sure that I'm visiting this representative field as my sample to see what's going on.
Okay.
And there is no single month that I go there and I don't find that we lost one of these fields.
Oh. Yeah.
So it's a lot. And even you drive any highway or any places where it used to be like farmland, and now they are mega house for like storage or like IT or AI facilities and all of that. And it's big. It's quite big. The rate now, as they are measuring it, they are talking about in our county about 11.5 square miles every year
that we lose.
We lose in agricultural land.
Oh.
And we don't have that much now. And there are some statistics and some predictions that within like 35 to 36 years, there will not be any big scale ag land.
Okay.
So, but the same statistic showing us that there is a lot of people who are entering the agriculture production market, the food production market. Many of them, actually majority of them, are beginners. They are still like less than 10 years, according to the definition of the USDA, less than 10 years experience dealing with ag production or food production in general.
So that quote unquote is a beginner farmer if it's within a 10-year period.
10 or less, yeah. And majority of them actually not even come close to the 10, but rather close to the 1 or 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Kind of experience. And also some of the statistics that comes from the USDA stats a couple of years ago showed that we have almost, because of we lost a lot of land, many of the large scale, bracket and market value of the production is going down, and many of the income of many of the people on like the larger scale are going down. But the only scale that's going up is these producers who are in the smaller and mid scale.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's the statistic could be a little bit, grim on one side, but there is opportunities on the other side. And much of these opportunities are associated with small scale and beginners, and giving how urban is our communities and our county here, and even like a majority of the Sun Corridor between, Tucson, Phoenix, and Flagstaff, where majority of these opportunities are appearing. We have a lot of small scale and beginner farming in urban communities. All of this remnant land of all of the development there where like you have electric grid or something like that, and nobody will develop anything under. People will go there and try to find opportunities for food production. When you have something closer to the highway or closer to the railway, there is not much development there, but many people would go there and will convert them to ag production land. So there is a lot of these opportunities, and like for many years we can see it. It was under the radar for some time. But again, with the pandemic and many people trying to find opportunities in the food production, we have this influx in like small scale beginner farmer in urban areas.
And you guys still, don't you annually still have a workshop? Maybe it's more than annually, but don't you still have a workshop for beginner farmers, veteran farmers?
We have now a whole University of Arizona Center.
Okay.
So like we have like the new Center for Urban Smart Agriculture, where we are dealing with a plethora of the topics, again, in education and applied research for specific of this scale, for specific of this beginner farmer, for specific for people in the urban area.
And where is that conducted then? Where is that?
Everywhere, like
okay.
like in the back area here of our building, we have what we call the People's Demonstration Farm, where we can like show and tell almost everything that you can put in a quarter acre.
In a quarter acre.
Yeah.
So is that so that's another question that brings up another question. Is a quarter acre kind of an average size for a small scale, or not
no,
necessarily?
It's there is variation here. But like one aspect about the quarter acre, and that's why I brought it, is I have one of my center team. We sent him for some training on how to make $100,000 out of quarter acre.
Really?
And you are not talking about some dream or like some concept. No, these are people who did it, and they did it for a long time, and they are ready to transfer their knowledge.
That knowledge.
And we have many examples around the valley here where we have like people even on a quarter or a third acre who are making that money and more. Like I'm always giving an example of like some little background in one of our area here in the East Valley, where it like support 2 families.
That's awesome.
Because they have their contract with the hospitality industry, some of the hotel and restaurants there, and they are producing good cycling of what they need in terms of like vegetables and other produce, and with that they are like making sure that they have this income there. So that's the future.
That is the
of
future.
Agriculture, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, guess what? You've just given me my idea for one of my next series. Is we need to do a series that's just on small urban farms.
Yeah.
The small beginner farmers.
And there is a story behind that here, like in Maricopa County, and how we took it to the statewide. Like it was like almost, I think, late 2020, and we were like in the middle of the pandemic. Everybody like there is a lot of uncertainty, of course. And Dr. Martin was the director here at Maricopa County Cooperative Extension at the time, and he had the opportunity that came from the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, and they were asking if we can do something for urban agriculture.
Yeah.
And at the time, they offered $40,000 to help with that.
Okay.
So Dr. Martin asked me if I can take this opportunity. At the time, I said yes, I will take it. Although the money is not that much, but I take it at the time. And right now, I can tell you, like, out of this $40,000, we are now on a funding portfolio for the Center for Urban Smart Agriculture between 2023 and 2028 of about $4.5 million.
Awesome.
It's almost $1 million a year.
So that 40,000 was basically seed money, and now look what it's turned into.
Yep.
So,
that's a return on investment we are talking about all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the opportunities. And it doesn't necessarily mean somebody's on a quarter acre or an acre. And we've met some of them, farmers that are, the microgreens. They maybe just need a hoop house or more sophisticated than that, but maybe just something where they put all the inputs that are required, including probably hydroponics, and it's just on these shelves. Yep. And I think we had, and I think they still exist, someone that was growing greens out of an old abandoned tractor trailer or something. Yep. So you can find different environments, and then you've got the vertical produce garden thing.
Yep.
So you don't necessarily even have to have that 1/4 acre, correct?
No. And
Yep.
and as I said, like outside here, we are like showing all of that. We
Right.
are showing different greenhouses. We are showing, different hoop houses, like raising bed on the ground, planting, controlled environment production, like vertical or hydroponic and other production methods. All of that can be done, and we are just showing sample here and there, and we are collaborating with others, and we are like doing some of our research on farm, so the result will be relevant to the actual life. And we can also, like as you said, at all of our events, we are bringing our community and our people involved in the program to see that can happen. You can do it if you have like the resource and the ability to do that. So there is a lot of going on right now, and it 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 seems like we still need to eat, right? We
Right.
still need to have agriculture. We still need to like have clothes and all of that. And we need to just figure out ways to continue doing that. And we have all of the resources to do that, whether it would be like in our soil, and which like very fertile and very good soil here in the desert, or like through any other means. And here we are like ready for like involving and bringing all of the opportunities of applied research and education with Cooperative Extension and collaborating with our clientele and stakeholder.
And maybe I can share an example of one, because we had someone ask us about, because we host the website Fill Your Plate, and it's a online directory of direct market farmers and ranchers. Somebody was asking us about the health and nutrition of mushrooms, and they know they can find them in the produce aisle of the grocery store, and they can certainly continue to go there, but they were just curious. So we did a little bit of research on that, and we found 15 different. I knew of 3 or 4 mushroom farmers that's like their specialty.
Yep.
And they'll show up at the farmers markets and they'll sell their mushrooms. And these are healthy, edible mushrooms.
Yeah.
And I came up with 15 different mushroom farmers, as
Yeah.
some of them were growing other produce, but a few of them were specifically specializing in mushrooms.
Yep.
And that was right here, and I think it's statewide. Yeah, it was. We were trying to find them all over, but a lot of them were concentrated here in Maricopa County.
Yes, and again, it shows within our need assessment, as I said, every time we are like starting anything new like this program.
Yeah.
We go and we ask our clientele what you want us to do, what's the issue here that we can help with. And one of the questions we ask them, what would be other specialty that you would like to see us bringing opportunities of education or applied research. And there are like few of these topics, like mushroom production was one of them, and we are working actually on some here, and we are educating our community on how to do that. And also they came up with another thing. We have history here of cut flowers. Many people would like to see if there's some opportunities there.
Yeah.
And there are actually a lot of opportunities there. And some other were talking about beekeeping and honeybee production. And we have actually some of these in the backyard here. And we also developed a course for beekeeping for our beginner farmers. And this course is like certified by the University of Arizona right now. And I thought at the beginning I will give maybe like the course 1 certified, but we ended up giving it like 3 times.
Wow.
And we have a huge list and demand to bring it up and like maybe develop it to the next intermediate level and then to the expertise level. So that's a kind of, dynamics that we can see and opportunities that might be appearing.
And it certainly, definitely emerged thanks to the pandemic. There's always a silver lining in every cloud.
Exactly.
And certainly applicable to Maricopa County because it is so urbanized. And so just as this program as an example, $40,000 in seed money, and now you have a
$4.5 million.
$4.5 million program. So to me, that's a measure of success.
Yes, and it's not only this program, by the way. Like we are quite good in doing that all the time.
Okay.
Our last analysis showed that in general here in Maricopa County Cooperative Extension, for every dollar we are receiving from the state, we are bringing back $10.31.
So say that again. So every dollar that is given to
Maricopa County Cooperative Extension, our return on investment is above $10.
Above $10. That's a pretty darn good
It is.
investment.
And we are the highest among all counties when it
Really?
comes to do that. So we are like leading when it comes to any other counties with the coverage extension system here in Arizona.
So they can actually, for every dollar that's invested, and it sounds like most of the counties are able to generate what is given back to the community. In your case, that would be tenfold, wouldn't it be?
Yep.
Yeah. So most of the counties, and that's what I was about to ask is, how are you measuring your success?
Well, like this could be one measure, like like the return on investment. Other is how many people we are like reaching. So like we were preparing our annual report here, and I just out what I remember right now. Like for example, we have or we trained about 13,000, more than 13,000 students on water resource and water conservation in collaboration between Project WIT that we are hosting here and the 4-H, and youth development program.
Project WET is actually pretty well known, pretty popular, and that's one of the projects that's based here in the Maricopa County.
Yes, yes, and we are quite proud of what we are doing and what we are collaborating with. Imagine like 13,000 students learn about water, the very big issue that we were talking about in all of our surveys. They know how to like where the water our water are coming from, how we can like manage them, how we are using them in different sectors, whether it's agriculture or urban, and what would be like a best way to conserve the water, whether you are using them for your ag production or using them for your shower. So that's huge, and it talks also about the integration of everything that we can do, like our family resource centers. They just like hosted almost like 2,300 families and taught them all things about like child safety, nutrition, family well-being, all of these aspects that's very good for any beginning and for any start or for any family, so they can end up with really good, use and end of good citizen at the end.
And I know one person that was in the nutrition program here, Janelle Rogers.
Yes.
Yeah, and she would teach.
Yeah.
And she's bilingual, so she could teach also in Spanish. Yeah. And taught a lot of nutrition courses to families. So that's another feature of these programs that Extension will make available to families.
And also we are like here, as I said, like we have this farm in the back, but not only the farm. If we have the farm only, we have only one aspect of the food production. But we also have associated to it, and like with help from the Family Consumer Health Program here, we have the food safety station.
Wow.
So we will teach people how to produce their food, how to handle them safely so they will not be contaminated with any of like germ or anything. Not only that, we have commercial kitchen in the back here where we can bring people and teach them how to, cook and prepare their meals in a healthy way, so they can like contain and preserve much of the nutrients in this meal, in this like produce. So it could be like remedies for them.
Yeah, especially if they're diabetic or on the verge of being diabetic.
Exactly, and we have this diabetes prevention program, and the success is huge. Like for like the average, they managed to reduce the A1C for like all of these participants by 2.7.
Wow,
and that's huge on the scale. Imagine that, and that's all because not by taking medicine or like by doing anything, but mostly how to change your diet a little bit, how you add certain aspect or certain ingredient to it, how you manage your time of eating and habit and all of that.
So is it fair for me to say that Cooperative Extension can help the community all the way from farmers to someone living in Maricopa County that might have just been diagnosed with diabetes and now they have to rejigger their entire diet? You're applying applied science all along the entire food supply chain. Really?
Yes. That's one of the things that we are working on right now. Because if you look at some of the need assessment that we were talking about, many people are talking about community health and well-being, and they are also talking about healthy food.
Yeah.
And that's what we are like. That's a link here, and we can do that, and that's actually what we are doing right now. So many of our program participants, They are not only participating in the ag program or like the family consumer health program or the bring kids for the 4-H program. No, they are involved in all of them. And
Yeah.
that's how the message even amplified, because
Okay.
they would see, the integration of what's going on and how we are doing that, not for just the benefit of one sector of one community,
Okay.
but the whole community.
So are you saying then, like, maybe as a parent, I let my kids get involved in 4-H, but then I'm discovering all your other programs that you provide?
One
Is
of
that, yeah.
one of our best ambassador actually are 4-H.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you cannot get the message to
Yeah.
the parent better than their kid. So most of the time they will come and see, and like we have the Ag STEM program, for example, bringing teacher and bringing student to our like our people demonstration farm back there. They know about how we can produce the food actually in our backyard if we want. They know, oh, there is a way to handle this produce so they are not contaminated.
Right.
Then they will come inside and see, like, we are doing some demonstration in the kitchen. Oh, this way of cooking is different because it will reserve all of your vitamins and all your protein in the food. That's the way to do it.
Do you feel like consumers are, community members are taking advantage of these programs to the level that they could? Do you still find that there's a lot of people out there that don't really know?
We never settle, as I said. Like we are, like, through our doors, and like the number is quite high. Thousands are coming every year, but we are in a county of like what, close to 5 million or more.
Yeah.
And that's the target.
So I love that. So you're never satisfied, even
No.
if you have a full class.
No, if we're satisfied, we'll not like make any progress. That's the nature
true.
of things.
Yeah.
So all of the time we are looking for new opportunities. We looking for the next level. What would be the new technology or
Right.
innovation we can bring? So even like right now, I'm involved with some our colleague on a national level on what we are calling right now ag integrated building.
Okay, so explain that.
Well, it's happening everywhere in the country. A
Yeah.
lot of ag land are like converted now into mega buildings.
Okay.
And this building is quite huge. And one of the aspects that everybody is started talking about is all of these resources that these, centers are using, especially water.
Yeah.
Can we convert that into something useful? Can we use all of this challenge to build opportunities?
Let's stay in touch. I want to hear what
There is, and there
Yeah.
is actually like already, like it's already running in many big cities. They are building, or like they are producing food from this building,
Wow.
whether in, on, or beside.
Okay.
So you can like build,
Or on top.
yeah,
the roof.
like one of the biggest things that I saw ever of like everything on the top was a very big section of like the like one of the military complex in DC.
Wow.
And almost every building for like few miles every direction has something at the top, and they are producing humongous amount of food.
Awesome.
That's going to our men and women in service.
That's what I love about innovation, and just keep asking ourselves the question. Okay, change is a guarantee.
Yeah.
The one constant in life is change.
Yes.
How do we make it better, especially when whatever change makes something go away? Can we actually reintroduce it, but just in a different way? And that's what you guys are researching.
Yeah, and like my vision for that is, and I start to start connecting and communicating with some of the industry who are like having these centers around the valley and are interested in discovering what we can offer. It is a community building effort.
Wow.
It's not only a food producing effort, because for them, if we are looking at anything would be associated to this building, it will require a lot of people coming together, not us only. You will need architecture. You will need like the cities and the counties and all of the regulation and all of the bylaw. You will need community to come, to help with all of the aspects there. You need the actual people who are working in these areas and this company to be involved for their kids to come and pick and like get some of these. Maybe you can build something like our commercial kitchens there, so they can like prepare their meals there and like get their lunch there from the produce that's there in their building. So this is some of the things like if it's like a year or two ago, I would say dreaming of, but now we are working toward it.
Well, let's stay in touch. I really
Yeah,
want to learn more
yeah.
about that.
So, and again, if you look at it, we will bring every aspect of what we are doing.
Yeah.
We will bring like the ag professional and like specialist, and that would help with the ag production aspect. We will bring like people who would like work with the food safety and like the nutrition and family health and well-being. We will bring like the 4-H and how you can like train the new generation.
Yeah.
Maybe it's non-traditional, but still use development that we
Yeah.
can bring, and we can like have, you know, more and more of our youth involved in our programs as well. So if you look at it, it's more of the integration that I'm like trying to bring all of the time to our programs. Many people say we are like silos and we are not building much bridge, but no, we are building a lot of bridges and shows. And our significance in terms of like return on investment, it can only be number if we are just bringing money in and out.
Okay.
But we are, with this investment and with this money, we are building communities. We are responding to their needs, and we are bringing the university, their science, and their applied research to all of their like issues that they are bringing through need assessment and surveillance.
And in this case, when you're talking about the mega buildings, you're also partnering with other organizations to
Yes.
maybe maximize on some of the resources that they're bringing to play just because of what they're doing. Housing for station identification, sort of. Iman Mostafa, director for the Maricopa County Cooperative Extension, and I'm Julie Murphy with Arizona Farm Bureau on Talk to a Farmer Friday. We're talking everything cooperative extension for the next several months, and we've started here with Maricopa County, which only makes sense. The largest, certainly populated, and even maybe landmass, right? Maybe not, county in the state. So I'm excited to learn some of the things I'm learning today, and it's not really a question I put on. How am I doing on time, Joel? What time is it right now? Okay. I have to bring up 4-H, and I have to bring up my story, especially when you came and greeted us in the front, and I said, well, it all started with the question that you asked, Joel. You said, have you ever, and I had said, oh my gosh, I go way back. I remember showing up with friends, because we were in 4-H, to a dance that was hosted here in the bigger...
The Palo Verde room.
Yeah, the Palo Verde room. And they even had a dance contest for us for 4-H. And I was either in high school or it was my first 2 years of college. I can't remember. It's probably high school. So yes, that was a long time ago. And so I proceeded to tell you that. And what did you tell me in response?
We are still hosting Clogger every week, every Monday. Yeah, it's still there. It's like it's one of the things that we are doing and offer all of the time, and it's quite fun.
Monday?
Every Monday. If you will come like after 5, you will find the Clogger here, so you can join them maybe.
I know, I should show up. So literally for decades, is the whole point of that? I'm just curious, what's inspired the 4-H agents to continue that? What do you know? I'm not going to tell you my age, but you can guess. And for family and friends that are watching this and know me, you can tell how long ago that was. But is it just to try to bring relationship building and fun and hanging out? Or
that's one aspect of it, but it's also like a lot of competition too. Remember, like they are competing as well, and they are like doing great. And this is still like maybe it's the only existing Clogger now in our area here. So we are like quite adamant on keeping them and hosting them and make sure that they have the training that they need. They also involve in many of our events and many of the community events. So it's quite something. And what would be a better way for any youth that age at Monday night to do?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of these areas of the youth development that we are like striving to do most of the time. How to be healthy, maintain being healthy, teach your other significant other how to be healthy as well.
Yeah.
And most of the time, and this is like my experience, and I think many others, I found that our youth are more effective ambassador for many of what they are seeing.
I agree.
Yeah. So if they say, oh, I was there at Maricopa County and I was with this Kroger and we found like the commercial kitchen and how they are, producing this fruit, like cooking this fruit. Oh, mom, you did it wrong. You have to do it this way. Oh, God. See, that's how change happened. So
Wow.
that's many of the things. Or we host them back in the family, in the farm back there. And we tell them, you can produce your own herb or like your own vegetables in this little raising bed. And they will go there, Mom, I just need this area in the backyard and I will do and give you like all your herbs that you need season around. Imagine that.
And if they start as kids, they'll most likely carry that through into their adulthood.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we have many examples of that. Many people, and again, I'm working with both sides of the aisle, and I'm going to some of our seasoned farmers, and they start talking to me about their experience with 4-H back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's just like what we hear right now.
And I bet. Every Monday night, okay, I may show up just for, and God bless the staffer that has to manage and host that every Monday night.
Yep.
So, give us an example, and you can pick whatever program you want to pick it. I mean, I identify with the field days where, okay, this is the research, this is the latest findings, and now we're going to gather with the farmers and ranchers, and we're going to show it. But you can pick another program. Kind of walk someone through, for lack of not maybe knowing exactly this applied science progression or passing off, or here, I guess what I'm trying to say is the research been done, it's been documented, it's been peer reviewed, now we're going to apply it. So
yes.
Walk us through an example of that.
I'll give you like an example from like big scale world. It's because it have been like very long time, and we did some success, I believe. So when I came here, and like I found that there is some issues with pest management of alfalfa. And as I mentioned at the beginning, that alfalfa, we are like the number one in terms of like tons per acres among any other counties nationwide. So when I came here, there was like few insects that would consume a lot of this alfalfa in the field. So we are not talking about these insects are consuming the leaf of alfalfa, but also water, soil, nutrition. All of these are involved to bring this plant up. And then this weevil, we call it alfalfa weevil, comes and eat them. And the damage was quite huge when I came, like our estimation, it could go between like half to 1 ton of hay.
Of just consuming the alfalfa, this alfalfa weasel.
Yeah, the alfalfa weevil. Yeah,
weevil.
are eating this alfalfa that much. They are like quite good, especially when they are like larvae, to eat on this alfalfa. At the time, when I was like looking at the literature, I found like, there is some studies that have been done in the Central Valley in California, and somehow in 1970s they adopted it here. But being in the community, I'm going to growers and ask, we have these, are you using them? And every one of them look at me. And what's going on? They said, if we just let it go until we have this number in this publication, we will have what they call white alfalfa, which means like the leaflet or the leaf of the alfalfa will be like almost skeletonized, nothing there. And this leaf is actually where most of the nutrition is. But they are eating a lot, and there was not much we can do. So I started early on to figure out what would be the right answer here.
And your entomology background was kicking in.
Yeah, and I found it's like a huge project, and we have to write different proposal to the USDA NIFA to get grant money. And I hired a person here and became my PhD student, Kyle Harrington. And we worked on this from A to Z to find many aspects of it. Big part of it of what we call the economic injury level or the economic threshold. How many of these larvae would be enough to justify us to bring or to make any kind of control or management measures? It is that simple.
And this was what, 15 years ago when you started it?
We started that like it's about 10 years or something like that. But it was like, a question in progress. At the beginning, as I said, oh, there is publication here, but see, it's like the Central Valley of Arizona, but it's not applicable to us.
Okay.
That's how specific our environment and our needs.
Okay, so
we did all of the research you could imagine, and we found out the numbers, and we crunched them, and we like verified them, and we applied them at Maricopa Ag Center, and then we applied some of it on farm with our growers until we are making sure that we have the right number, the relationship between this population of the insect, how much they are consumed, and we are giving our growers a very simple way to make a decision, an app.
An app.
Yeah. So we have like the Weevil Calc app where our growers can go to their field, do some 5 sweeps, and find out how many of these large larvae they have. And then they can figure out how much they will receive in terms of like the price of tons of hay in dollar value. And with that, they would have a decision to make. If you have that many or this average of the larvae in your sweep net, that's mean you can do or do not take a measuring for the managing or controlling this sweep.
And so for those that don't know what a sweep is, it's basically a net.
It's especially a net with a stick.
Yeah, a net with a stick and
and you are sweeping them. Yeah.
And so those have to be counted, and then once they're counted and put in this app, and then you report back to them. So once and they can see the economic impact of what the weevil is doing.
Yep. And whether that justify to go and like do some control measure or not, because not doing anything is also a decision.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And maybe they don't have enough of a population that's impacting it.
Exactly.
But what are some of the measures that they can take? Would it be pesticide application?
That's one measure they can take. They can rely on some of the natural enemies that we are having if they have enough of these population.
Like ladybugs.
Yes.
Beneficials. Okay.
Yeah. Or they can like cut early if the crop is like maturing enough, and we have shorter cycle of cutting of about 28 days. If they are like 25, 24, maybe like they can cut early so they can, escape some of the damage from this insect.
Which would be a mechanical
way of management.
Yeah.
And also you will kill a lot of these larvae because you are just like cutting many of these hair around them. So there is a lot of options here. We are giving them a lot of tools, and then they can use the tools that would fit their need and their operation.
So cool.
And this is a very long term of research that we did on a small scale at Maricopa Ag Center, and then at larger scale with our growers. We verified the number, we crunched them until we have like very big publication. You are welcome to read it. It's like multiple pages of like peer-reviewed publication, but we also crunch all of these into these 3 bars.
Okay.
Where you can like slide them on the number of insects that you would have per sweep, what would be the expected number of dollars that you would get in terms of like hay or ton of hay. And at the end, you will get your answer. What would be the number that would justify or not justify any control measure?
So are farmers using your app?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I love this.
So at the beginning, there was no app, of course. But right now, when we are asking our pest control advisor and our growers if they are using our apps and they are using our recommendation also for all of these measures, we are receiving like very satisfied results. Almost like 76% of the people that we are asking, they are using our app and dependent on it to make the decision.
So what's it called? The Weevil app?
Weevil Calc, yeah. We call it. We at the beginning we call it. Oh, it's a calculator or something like that. But many people said no, it's an app because I can like scan this QR code. I can go there and I'll just slide 1 bar or 2 and I'm getting an answer.
Wow.
How easy that would be.
So let me repeat that so I've got it in my head. And I just think this is absolutely fascinating. So this pest was impacting, like if I'm an alfalfa farmer right now and I get in contact with you and I download the app and I do a sweep and I assess my numbers, then what's going to come back to me is a calculation of, okay, because you have that many weevils, this is the economic impact. And by the way, here's some of the things you can do to resolve that. You either harvest early, or you apply some pesticides, or
you can rely on some of the natural enemies
yeah,
if you have enough. Yeah.
make sure you've got natural enemies to eat them.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the app here. If you want to
Okay.
like have a look on it. So like here, this is the ton, the price of ton per acre, and you can slide whatever the number you are expecting. Let's say they will expect this number.
Of tons per hay of what
That's the
weight.
price of like a ton of hay
Yeah,
that you
okay.
are expecting.
Yeah.
And then what would be the cost of the application if you are applying anything? Let's say you will get something around that.
And
So
then,
your average here will be 2.1 large larva per 108 sweep. This is a large larva. You have to find one of these,
okay.
not the little one. So we are giving them also photos so they can match them to what they are getting there.
One large larva per 180 degree
Yeah.
sweep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So very. So you can like go in your field. You are just making the 5 sweeps, get your average, and then I'm like having my contract for like $220 per ton of hay, and now and Kyle told us it would be our large larva. If I'm having like 1.5 as an average, I will do nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to because the number's so low.
So if I will have 2.5, I need to do something. Do I have the natural enemies? And we have some guidelines for them on what natural, and we are trying to, enhance these availability of natural enemies and their number. What would be the number of certain natural enemies if you can see them in your field? It will decrease or actually increase your threshold here. So instead of like 2.5, it can go like to 3 or 4 or something like that. So with that in mind, we are not only like helping them with making an economic decision, but making a decision that can save environment.
Yeah.
That will like also save the
cost of the pesticide.
Reduce the amount of insecticides that we are putting in our environment and our field and our food system.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is applied science.
Yeah.
In real time and live. And that makes me think that we're going to have to get in touch with you again because we're doing this series in our social media. Joel and I are working on that called The Thin Green Line. And we're talking about, what we do in agriculture to protect that thin green line.
Yep.
And this is
that's one of them. And we are doing a lot of that. And I'm not the only one, of course, who's doing that. We have like a whole team of extension ag specialists who are working different aspects of the ag production, and we have a whole specialist and agent who are working with family consumer health science aspect, and a lot of specialists who are working with the 4-H aspect, and others who are helping the Indian tribe. All of these are coming together. And again, many people say, "Oh, you are working silo." No, we are not, because this information is going everywhere.
It's going everywhere.
Like we were like in a conference. Kyle was in a conference, I think, a few months ago in New Mexico. And they were discussing with him this app.
Oh my goodness. So the Alfalfa Weasel app is statewide and going into New Mexico.
Yeah, so that's a kind of impact that we are talking about all of the time.
And so that was one of my questions. Can you share an example of a recent project that had a significant economic or community impact? I think your Weevil app is it.
Yep.
But those same examples can be shared in 4-H. They can be shared in their nutrition programs. And then this, I kind of want you to define this a little bit more. How does the extension collaborate with local communities or other partners to develop new programs? Well, you've kind of touched on that, but
I can give you like tons of examples, but just to be relevant, we can focus on what we were just talking about.
Okay.
Here. So, for example, we are talking about these urban small-scale beginner farmer and the Center for Urban Smart Agriculture. As I said, it was like $40,000 at the beginning, and that's coming from the county. But if you look at the end, we are like having this 4.5 million or more. How did that come? It's coming through like all of the community engagement, how we are like reaching out to our stakeholders, how we're reaching out to all of our funding resources.
Okay.
So like right now, I'm all the time when I'm talking about this center and this program, it's a good example of cooperative extension, because the word cooperative comes from the cooperation of different level of governments.
Right.
So from this program, as I said, from the beginning, we have the support from the county.
Okay.
But now we have a lot of support coming from the state and a lot of support coming from the federal government.
Okay.
So all level of government are there, and we are collaborating with many cities. So any level of government you are talking about is involved within this program. That's how we are bringing all, like, the big players and small players and people who are involved in the community, stakeholder, interested personnel, into all of these activities for this program.
Do you see the possibility of more private funding, especially with some of these mega IT centers coming
We already have some, but for, like, as I said, we are like in the starting stage, as I should say, in communicating with many of the big industries that are behind all of this mega center and AI and like IT and some other facilities around the valley. And it's quite huge, because if we can translate what's happening in other areas of the country here, it's a lot. We, as I said, I'm involved in some national activities, and it's already happening. So, and we know all of these are like very big, industry and very big companies, and they are not like acting in only one area. They are acting in all of the areas, and we are ready to collaborate and help with that.
That's awesome. How many employees here at Maricopa County Extension?
Well, like right now we are pushing 70.
Okay.
Yeah, but we might see some reduction because of like the cut of the SNAP aid program.
With everything you guys are doing, it's kind of a stressor, I know. Yeah. Final question for you. This has been a fantastic and enlightening and interesting interview, Imam. I really appreciate it. And we need to stay in touch, especially on a few things, just because I think it's so fascinating, especially the Weasel app. Weevil. Yeah. I keep saying that. Anyway, but what is a typical day for you?
Well, it depends on what day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I'm like right now I'm wearing many hats. So if I'm working on my like research aspect, and as I told you, I'm following many fields. I can go to Maricopa Ag Center because I'm conducting many of my experiments there. So it could, especially like in summertime, waking up very early in the morning, maybe like around 4:35, going out. And I like being outside in the field. It's like one of these moments that doing your job is fun for me. So like I like to be on top of the actual issues that's going on. So I can, when I report to any of my clientele or any of my growers, I'm telling them what's really happening, not what I'm expecting or what anybody told me or anything like that.
Your boots on the ground.
Yeah. So I go there and like collect as much sample or like observation or doing whatever I'm doing. And hopefully by 9 I'm done, because it's become quite hot. And then I would come back here and start like looking at what I'm doing in terms of like running this department here and like running the Center for Smart Agriculture and getting it from there. And the day would be fast. I wish we can have like more than 24 hours in a day.
I know. Yeah, I feel that way. Working for Arizona Farm Bureau is one of the funnest aspects of my job, is getting out and about. I don't get to visit the farms as much as you do because I'm not necessarily checking my test plots on these fields. But you would probably be a fascinating ride along with for checking these fields out.
Yep.
But very impressed and very grateful and appreciative. I know my own life is a testimony to what you guys have poured into me as a recipient on the farm side, on the 4-H side of it, and just, you know, so many aspects. Cooperative Extension is there, and you guys are doing the applied research on behalf of the community, whether that's in the urban or rural area, and we thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes. Appreciate it.
And stay tuned, because we're going county to county, and I've got so many fascinating people that I'm going to present to you for us to just have good chats like we did today. Take care.